Hugh Freeze admits that the Auburn Tigers are playing and coaching not to lose. Let's talk about it on the live edition of the Uptempo podcast. Yes, sir. Auburn family, Uptempo gang. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Justin Smith, Blake Lane, back at you guys with the latest edition of the Uptempo podcast. I hope everybody's blessed, man. I hope everybody's having a good week out there. It's a nice little fall weather, Blake. I like to call it football weather out there right now, man. Smells good, feels good. Gonna be at a football game Friday night, man. How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing well, man. I call it getting sick weather.
Okay.
Yeah, 50 degrees in the morning and
Yeah.
90 degrees in the afternoon. So I'm still up and down and trying to get better in and out of things. But hey, looking forward to Saturday. We play a football game, and I know the fan base is down right now. I know that Auburn fans look at the rec. Excuse me, there's that sickness. They look at the record, 2-5, and they sit there, Dustin, and they say, "Well, we're just going to lose Saturday. We're gonna find a way to lose." And I look at this game, and once again, I'm getting reeled back into thinking that Auburn can win this football game. Um, excuse me. Before the season, I talked about Brock Vandergriff transferring from Georgia to Kentucky, and is he really the guy to lead that offense? Are they going to put up a lot of points? And you're seeing now that they're good on defense, but their offense, it's not good.
Tough.
It's not. So you're going to have a battle of two offenses that still haven't really found an identity. They're searching, they're struggling, and you're going to have two defenses that are playing pretty damn well. So this thing might come down to who's going to score on defense to win the game. I think there's an opportunity for Auburn to win Saturday, though. I'm going into this thing, Dustin, and I'm not turning my back on this football team just yet. And I know we're down and we're struggling, but this Kentucky team just got clocked by Florida, so they're struggling. What is their locker room like? We know what's going on with ours. We're here tonight to talk about what our head coach said.
Yeah.
Hey, I like what C5 said. Go lock the gates and pick a fight and see what happens, man. Just see what happens. Leave it all out there and stop playing to lose. Start playing to win. Start playing to win, because you look at what's happened in your season so far, and your record shouldn't be 2-5.
This is not a 2-5 team, man.
Yeah, you're a much better football team than 2-5. That's just the truth. And even the big heads in college football, they'll tell you Auburn is better than their record. I've heard Kirk say it multiple times. Auburn is better than their record. J.D. Pickell, he says it multiple times. Auburn is better than their record. You look at these losses, man, they're close losses. You have to find a way to win one. You got to win one. And let the chips fall where they may, and see what you can do against Vanderbilt at home, Dustin. I'm not out on us. Just I'm not going into it saying, "Oh, we're just gonna automatically lose Saturday night."
Yeah, I hear you, man. So yeah, let's talk about Hugh Freeze's comments. Before we do that, Blake, I got to give a shout out, man. I got the comments pulled up from our last episode, and I'm gonna name you guys off, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Galatian, Dying Culture, WK Sweat, Silver Reed, Austin Holland, Lance Morgan, Mizzou Pod. Thank you for showing up and being classy. Bingo 2069, Jayville Tiger, Tiffany Riggerspoon, Jeff Tink, Brian Barnett. Let's see, Pops. Love you, Pops. Always important. Raw Guy Rodney's in here. JD, Smitty, JD again. Yeah. McDowell, Hunter, Darius, JC Money. Those are all the ones that I popped up. If I missed anybody that commented on the last episode, the reason I read all you guys off, man, is because it's a 2-5 football team, and I know how tough this is. And you guys keep coming in here and keep interacting with us, keeping engagement. And I've talked to a couple of people these last week about this, and talked to somebody else after the game, and it's like, man, where do we even go from here as content creators? Like this is it's getting hard. Obviously in this kind of situation, the engagement is just naturally going to go down, and we get it. So for y'all that come in here, man, you guys are diehards. I love y'all to death. I appreciate y'all, man. So that's one that I wanted to name out all you guys because you guys are the real ones. And whenever Auburn comes out of this hole, like y'all are the ones that it's going to mean so much too because we rode through all this and we went through it. But let's get into it, man. Hugh Freeze. This is the comment. Sorry guys, I wanted to have the clips. I've had a busy week, so I don't have the clips this week. But Hugh Freeze said, I still think we play not to lose instead of playing to win. Truthfully, we're probably coaching that way too. He also went on to make another comment, just talking about how he felt like every call had to be perfect in that moment. He just feels the pressure of everything kind of has to be perfect, kind of scared to make a mistake. And Blake, this is something that I mean, what did I say all summer about the Oklahoma game? But my thing was big games. My thing was Auburn can handle the Arkansas and handle the Vanderbilts and handle the Cows and finish the season 6-6. It's when there's the bigger type opponents, they let those guys off the hook in the big moments.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn had been that way kind of starting Gus's last couple of years. The 2019 Iron Bowl, probably the last big win. Yes, winning at Death Valley was nice, but that was only because of a curse. That wasn't a good LSU team. Their coach got fired. So I look at all of it, man, and it's like you feel like I mean, everyone feels it at this point, and it's advanced from the big games, and it's got to the point of every game, every game now. Auburn's just pressing. Auburn's just pressing, and like I guess the way I just look at it is, and I don't want this to be a take shot at Hugh Freeze kind of thing. Um, I just feel like you're the head guy. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate honesty at the podium, especially as a content creator. But as an Auburn fan, like maybe let's not say that out loud because we all kind of see it. Um, and maybe it's not. Maybe saying that out loud is not the problem, but just or not a problem. But let's whatever we got to do to dig down and find that Mamba mentality. I don't know if you guys got to watch Kobe and Michael Jordan highlights, or I don't know if a guy like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady needs to come in there and talk to him. I just don't know. Uh, I know that like I feel like getting a close one would help. But Blake, am I
Mm-hmm.
wrong for thinking that it's kind of obvious to me at this point that the players are pressing and it starts at the top? Because if the top is admitting, I'll use this example. You like to use work a lot. If your manager's having a bad day and being an asshole to everybody, doesn't kind of the whole crew have a bad day? Like the tone's set at the top.
Yes, 100%. I like what you said the other day. You said, well, one thing about it, he is the most honest head coach in the country. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
You know, you can see the pressing. I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. It was to a point where you could see when Peyton made a throw and there was some disconnect between the receiver and the quarterback, and he immediately he's just like doing all this stuff, and the communication's off, and you could just feel like there was some tension there somewhere. And then you got Hugh coming at Peyton, and then the receivers they're off, and then Hugh's coming out and saying, "Well, this receiver don't know what the playbook is. He's still trying to figure his way out and all this." Maybe that's why we're not making plays in the fourth quarter late in games to close things out. Maybe this thing is just like we've said all year. It's who we are. It's who we are. It has really come down to, in my opinion, I'm looking at a younger guy to step up and make a play at this point
Mm.
because that's what I see on the field. Those are the guys that are showing up. Those are the guys that are being vocal and saying, hey, don't give up on us just yet. We're going to be okay. It's true freshmen coming out and they're saying, hey, we're going to be okay. Do not give up on us. We have a plan and we're going to get it together. I got to have guys like Robert Lewis. Look, you're only here for a couple more games, but I got to have you step up and make a play. I don't care if Robert Lewis was on the outside or whatever. I don't care where he's at on the field. If the ball is to you, you catch it, damn it. You catch the football and make a play. Don't tell me this guy can't catch because he caught 80 balls last year at Georgia State. He can catch the football. But something is happening and losing culture. A lot of people say that.
Oh yeah.
I got to see plays getting made. I got to start seeing it. Look, everybody's like, oh, well, you can't blame the kicker. Yes, you can.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
you can.
yes, you can. You can blame every single person on this football team and every single coach. They're a team. All right. Towns Magoo was a highly rated kicker that it was down between us and Ole Miss, y'all. That is his only job is to kick, and he hasn't done it. And don't give me the crap of, oh, well, he's a true freshman. Alex McPherson didn't have a problem.
Yeah.
Alex McPherson went perfect. He went perfect as a true freshman. So don't get in here and give me that crap about, oh, well, he's a true freshman. He's in a tough spot. He wasn't supposed to be playing this year. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. We're watching true freshmen compete all across the country right now. DJ Lagway looks just fine down there in Florida. Down there
Hey,
in
talk
Gainesville.
to me, Blake.
Down there in Gainesville, DJ Lagway, they want to talk about, true freshman doesn't need to start. And I've been guilty of saying that. I don't want a true freshman starting at quarterback. Well, guess what, folks? DJ Lagway, that's a guy.
Yeah.
And it might have taken an injury to Graham Mertz, but Billy found a guy. And he's pretty dang good. And he makes it look pretty easy sometimes. He makes his mistakes, but he makes it look pretty easy. That ball that he ripped as time was running out in Knoxville 2 weeks ago, I said, hey, this guy right here, dog. So don't give me all the freshman stuff and all that. We have to simply start making plays. And our coach, man, you got Hugh, I love you to death, man, but I'm tired of seeing the visor cocked to the side and you rubbing your forehead. That's just not how you do it. It's just, to me, it sends, like you said, Dustin, your manager's having a bad day. Your manager comes out and he chews some ass. Well, then what's the first part? You're going to walk over to your coworker and say, man, that dude right there, man, his attitude's piss poor. It happens at every job.
Yeah,
all
great
right?
point.
So I'm tired of hearing the same old thing. It's getting repetitive, honestly. It is. And I got to see some of these older guys. I feel like the younger guys are bringing it. I'm seeing the energy. Are they making mistakes? Yes. Are they blowing coverages? Yes. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is how we're losing at the end of games. I'm not okay with blowing leads the way we are. It's not 2-5. We're not 2-5, y'all. We're not that bad. We're really not. You look at the losses, man. There's no way we should lose to Arkansas the way we did. And it's just a football team that continues to make mistakes and sphincters get tight in close games at the end. And it's like we're so scared to make a mistake that guess what? You eventually end up making a mistake. You can take it back to the workforce. When you're on your job and your boss tells you to do something and you get scared to make a mistake, what do? You end up making a mistake. And that's Auburn football right now. It doesn't matter if it's in coverage. It don't matter if it's a wide receiver dropping a ball, a running back fumbling, Peyton Thorne fumbling. It don't matter. We sit on here every single week and we pray for turnovers. Hey man, can we force a turnover? You get a muff punt and score off of it.
Jeez, dude.
And you still find a way to lose. You
I
still
feel
find a way to lose. It's just and you know when I don't want to fire Hugh. I don't like getting on that train. I don't want to go down that road just yet.
yeah.
But it does start at the top. And that is my thing when I always say you got to clean it up here. Because this thing right here, it carries weight. It carries weight. When you sit down in front of the media and you say things, they twist it. And it also, the body language. When your body language always looks like, I mean, it looks like Hugh's 80 years old at the podium. I also don't like, this is me just nitpicking, honestly, Dustin. I don't like when a coach sits down at the podium. I want you standing up, dog. I want you standing up and addressing the room. I don't want to see you sit down. It looks lazy to me.
That Nick Saban.
Hey, what's Kirby do? What's Kirby do? Kirby
Same
stands
thing.
up,
Same thing
addresses
Saban
the
did.
podium. He looks like the president of the United States of America. Hands on the podium. He's like, hey, let's talk ball. Let's talk about what happened. I don't. I just the visor being off, and then him just constantly. He looks tired. It just sends a bad message, and that's where we're at. We're sitting there having to talk about what's wrong with 2-5. Why are we at this point? And we are sitting here talking about how can we possibly beat Kentucky? And this is no disrespect to Kentucky and what Stoops has built there, but as Auburn football fans, and Dustin and I having to sit here and talk about Auburn football, we should never be talking about possibly losing to Kentucky ever. Just like I told y'all with Cal, we should never have to sit here and talk about losing to freaking Cal. Never.
None of our preseason predictions, well, most of our preseason predictions miss, like everybody else that predicted anything about Auburn. One thing you did say all summer was, if Auburn loses to Cal, there's a problem.
I knew it.
And man, woo,
Dustin,
woo.
it's like when old buddy took the clip of this show
Right.
and he got on his Twitter and he really posted, hey, look at these two dipshits.
47.
They're saying that Cal ain't good. Yeah, and you're seeing it right now.
3 and 4.
Because I sat here and told you that Auburn was terrible and Cal was mid. Dustin, you said the same thing.
Yeah.
We agreed. And Cal fans got in there and they told us, you guys don't know what you're talking about. And I said, okay. I said, well, let the season play out. And I had it bookmarked because I knew they were going to lose to Florida State.
Mm.
And when they did, I ventured back to that post. All right.
Yeah,
Haven't been back. I know you have. I'm waiting because more losses are still to come. All right. And then there were some Auburn fans who dug deep and told me that Cal was winning 10 games. And I said, brother, if Auburn loses to Cal, we're in serious trouble. At home, we're in trouble. They're not good. And you're seeing it. The same things that happened against Cal are still happening. They're still happening, y'all. It's just it's who we are right now.
Yeah, so I'm looking at and listen, and when I say the upperclassmen, and it's not, we're not talking about all of them. Like Jarquez, we know Jarquez is a dog. We know Jarquez has put it all on the line for Auburn. There's other upperclassmen that are doing that same thing, and I don't have anything negative to say about. But as a whole, like if we look at it in totality, not only can you see it on the field, but I'm hearing that behind the scenes, it's the same way. That it's young cats checking upperclassmen in the locker rooms and at practice and this kind of stuff. So at this point, my message to the young cats would be this: screw them. Whoever doesn't want to get on board, let's leave them behind. If they think that losing is okay, then let's leave them behind. Because now I made mention of this the other day. There's a lot of people that depend on this program to be successful, to at least be competent. Businesses. I mean, there's all kind of things around that town. Those 7 to 8 home games a year keep Lee County, Alabama going. Keep me and you doing our thing away from it, right? Like it affects a lot of people. It's got to be competent. It can't be this. It can't be this where people are just disengaged. And so I look at the young cats and I say, take the damn team then. Go take it. Go take it. They don't want any part of it. They think it's okay to laugh and giggle in the locker room after a loss. I don't care if Dave Chappelle just walked up to you and told you his funny brand new stand up that nobody's ever heard. If I am sick the next day waking up after a loss, then you should be dog sick, brother. Your name's out there. We're talking about you. So yeah, young guys, take it. Take your team. Take your team. Hugh, let's go, baby. Let's go. I don't know what you got to do to reach back in there. And I know everybody's motivated by different things. Me personally, Blake, I'm motivated by my failures. If I fail at something a couple times, I'm gonna kind of like the first couple times I might be like, if I fail at something 3 or 4 times, man, I kind of rally up and that's kind of I use that as motivation. That and doubt, people doubting me. That's kind of what keeps me going. And everybody's different. Like I'm not saying that my way's better than anybody else's, but whatever it is for Hugh, you got to dig deep, man, and find that. Like you give these speeches every Monday to the team or whatever it is.
Gratitude.
Maybe less speeches about gratitude and acceptance and love, and maybe a little more about kicking somebody's ass.
Facts.
Let's get in here to some of these comments, man. What you got, Bob?
I was just gonna say something real quick, and you know, it kind of hit me the other night. One of my, I'm sure it's a lot of people's, but one of my favorite players, and I got to meet him and I got to have a conversation with him, and it made me start thinking about this team. And Simp was down at the Senior Bowl, and I got to do the little interview with him, and I got to talk with him for about 10 minutes, and after I was done, Marcus was over there and Nehemiah and DJ, and they were all sitting at the table, and I walked over and I said, guys, I said, I know this year didn't end the way that we wanted it to. I said, but one one thing I can say is I got nothing but love for each and every one of you for everything that you went through at Auburn. You chose Auburn. You chose that you wanted to wear the orange and blue and go through all of that and battle going 6-6 and 5-7 and all that stuff. All right. Like that is you loved Auburn. I'll be honest with y'all right now. It's hard for me to sit here and watch on Saturdays and look at some of these older guys and say, man, who loves Auburn? Who truly loves Auburn?
27.
Jarquez, I think Eugene. I think you can throw Eugene in there.
Fact.
But who truly loves Auburn? When I listened to Simp speak, I said, Jalen, as good as you are in your college career, why didn't you just transfer, man? Why didn't you just skip town? Go compete for a championship. Raise your draft stock. Get in front of the scouts more. Like go play in the big games. You know what he told me? He said, because I loved Auburn, man. He said, I just wanted to make a difference. I just wanted to be that guy where I come back in 10 years, people are going to look at me and say, "Hey, he did that. He stayed when we were terrible and he helped turn it around." I don't see a whole lot of love for Auburn. I don't see a whole lot of love for that AU on the side of the helmet. I don't. I see it from the younger cats. I see it from guys like Caleb Harris. I see it from the Jay Crawfords, the
Oh,
Blocktons.
baller.
I see it from those cats. But I don't, from the older guys. I tell you this, I see more love for Auburn out of KLS, who's been there for a couple months, than some of
Mm.
these older cats. I see more love from KLS. And that says a lot to me because he was a portal guy that's coming in to play 12 games and then he's out. He's gone. And that speaks to me a little bit because I just watched some of the body language, like walking off the field, and AL.com showing the clips of the players walking out. It just looks like they don't give a damn, to be honest.
I want to say some names so bad, but I'm not going to.
Hey, um, and last year I seen guys pounding their fist on the ground and crying. I saw cats after the Iron Bowl legitimately crying, saying, "Hey, it's over. That's how it ended." All right. Because the AU on the side of the chest and that orange and blue right there, that meant something. And I'm not trying to down guys. I'm a player's guy, but that love for AU just ain't hitting right there for me. Not right now. Like I said, I see a lot of puppies out there that are flying around. They're wanting to win. They're being vocal in the media. You're hearing more out of a damn true freshman in the media than you are a senior. That's
We're gonna
sad,
talk about it.
y'all. It's sad.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hitting the nail on the head tonight, buddy. This is an example I use. I was talking to a friend of mine. It's not an Auburn fan, but he knows a lot about, he's a big time football fan, follows it like we do. And I was like, man, I think back to a season like 2007 for Auburn, and I know that was a crazy year, but this is kind of the most 2007 year we've had since 2007, so this could kind of apply. But Auburn had lost to South Florida and Mississippi State, and we were 2-2, and we go down to the swamp, and everyone's telling us all week about how we're about to get our teeth kicked in our face, and we don't have a shot. And I remember, RB before the game coming on the radio because I used to hell, I think that's probably in the ninth grade. I would listen to the radio broadcast and have the TV up, and then I'd have another TV where I was playing the PlayStation 2 playing with the game, And I remember Rod coming on and being like, "Guys, I got a good feeling about tonight because Tubbs was in there. Tubbs was getting on them. Tubbs was getting on them." And we go down there and we beat a 4-0 Florida team. True freshman, by the way, kicks a game-winning field goal twice. True freshman in the swamp, number one team in the country. Game-winning field goal twice. And that's what I'm talking about. Because after that game, them boys started talking. And they all said the same thing. We heard y'all all week. We heard y'all all week. And Tuberville told us on Monday, we're coming down here to get a win. He told us on Tuesday, we're coming down here to get a win. All this week, we talked about how we're coming down here and we're going to show y'all something. And then they went out there and they showed everybody something. I'm waiting on that from my head man. That's what I want to see. You take your program, Hugh, by the reins, and let's go win some football games, man. Let's go. This whole apathetic, you talk about the body language. My dad cracked me up. He said, I'm tired of seeing this bald spot on his head with his head always down. Like, all that, man. And you make a great point about standing up at the podium. I like that. Body language does send a lot of signals, even when we don't think about it at times. It kind of subliminally, tells you things. Yeah, man, it's just go time. And again, for me, it's hard to understand because I'm like in this kind of situation, I'm like, let's go. Like when things get bad at work, I'm like, no, we got to go, man. Like But whatever it is that gets you, whatever it is, you guys got to dig down here. You got to find it. And if you're Hugh, this is your opportunity. This is it. This is it. You got embarrassed at Ole Miss. It took you forever just to get the Liberty job. You get that. This is it, brother. This is the shot.
Mm-hmm.
You will never have better resources, alignment at Auburn for the first time in a long time. Hugh's got everything. Hugh's got more at his disposal than any Auburn coach has in forever. So, and it's already bad. You're 2-5. So I don't know what you're nervous about anymore. Like at this point, you're playing with house, at least on this season. Yeah. Let's go, man. Let's go. Go let your hair down and play ball. What are we so nervous about at this point?
You know, you talk about go let your hair down and play ball, and you talk about the love for Auburn, and we're sitting here and we're trying to figure out what's wrong with this team, you know, and I go back in the past and I think of my favorite guy. And, you know, people ask me all the time. I was on TikTok the other night and people was like, who was your like one guy that you just loved? I was like, dude, Brandon Cox was that guy who he took a lot of heat, took a lot of criticism. All right. But y'all, every Saturday, we never had to worry if Brandon Cox was going to be a damn warrior. We knew what we were getting, whether he threw 3 picks. We knew that he was going to come back out there and that AU was going to mean something. We knew it. Like, I just don't see that. I'm sorry, but Peyton, you know, you don't see it out of him. And I knew when 12 was on hit the field what we were going to get. We were going to get a dude that would leave his body on the field. And I talked about it the other night when Cook come out of the hospital and come back into the game. That was Brandon Cox mentality right there. It ain't at Auburn right now.
All right.
Not with the guy taking the snaps. He showed a little bit of toughness, but he's also showed me he'll run out of bounds on a 3rd and 1, you know, or a 3rd and 5, and he'll leave it at 4th and 1.
Instead
of just laying his body on the line, because I know Brandon Cox would have laid his on the line, and that's what we got to have at Auburn right now. And another thing is NIL. Stop blaming everything on NIL. Stop blaming everything on NIL, because there's programs around the country. Look at Indiana right now. You think they're talking about NIL? NIL? No, NIL is not a problem in Indiana right now. You don't know why? Because they're winning. They're running a tight ship up there. Their coach, he spews confidence. He talks highly of his players. He gets up there, hey, we're going to win. That's it. Like they're not picking Indiana. And college game day is going to Indiana this weekend. Big noon kickoff was just there. NIL isn't a problem at these places.
Yeah.
All NIL did was level the playing field, y'all. It leveled the playing field across the country. Is there things that we got to nitpick with the transfer portal and NIL? Yeah, there's things that we got to work out and clean it up just a hair. But a lot of these programs, you think Dan Lanning's having a problem with his players up at Oregon? You think there's quit on that team? No, because you want to know why? He learned from who? He learned from Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, and that's how he runs his program. Is he runs a tight ship, just like the military. You're gonna do. Hey, you think Trayshawn Holden? He just spit on somebody 2 weeks ago. What you think happened to Trayshawn Holden when behind closed doors, Dustin? Man, I bet Dan wasn't easy on him.
Yeah.
There's things we got to clean up, man. I'll leave it at that.
Sure. Let's get to some of these comments before we do. Got the 10 gifted memberships from my guy, Fire Freeze. Appreciate you, buddy. I'm trying to pull it up. Blake, it doesn't let me pull those up sometimes. It's weird. But we do see you, buddy, and appreciate you. Yeah, there we go. Appreciate you helping us out, man. We'll talk about these memberships in just a second. I got this Deuce Night pod coming out for you guys tomorrow. Tim the Toolman Taylor says, anyone else watching the Sam Houston versus FIU game? Shitty football better than no football? No, normally I am, brother, but I'm with my guy Brett tonight watching hockey. Since we have come on, the Bolts have scored 4 goals. My guy Brandon Hagel has had a hat trick in the 35 minutes we've been live. So we might just go for the remainder of this game because things are going well. But no, I'm watching hockey. But Tim, I feel you, brother. I look, man, I catch a lot of these midweek games, and we got football on for like the next 40 something days or something. So yes, dude, football. Some football is better than no football. P-Pass, dear coach, you lost your marbles. You need your marbles. Major League 2 reference. Fantastic movie. And yeah, man, you're going to need those. Tim says everybody has the sniffles for talking about Blake. Yeah, mine is always coming out of winter when it goes
Yeah.
from cold to spring. That's when my whole face blows up and gets red. I look like I just smoked 3 joints. Ernest, it's up to the defense and special teams. I like AU. If it's up to yeah. I'll go ahead and tell y'all. Like I'll give you my score prediction and everything now. I got Kentucky winning 10-7. Like I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably what it's gonna be like.
Look,
Oh,
Greg says AU will not beat Kentucky. I know we're all desperate, but this team is done. I kind of tend to agree with you, Greg. I think 2-10 until I see something otherwise. Tim says we are close. We'll see, man. Ernest says you can take 2 or 3. You can take 2 players to a 3-on-3 fight. Who are you taking? 2 players to a 3-on-3 fight to help me out. Oh man. Well, for one, I guess I want to say Percy Lewis based off of size, but I ain't bringing Percy to no dog fight now.
I got
This is a
2.
good one, Ernest. Blake's got you.
I'm taking Malcolm Simmons and Caleb Harris with me. That's
Mm,
who I'm taking.
okay, I
Uh,
like the Caleb Harris one a lot.
yeah, and the reason I'm taking Malcolm is I think Malcolm's a dog. I think he's scrappy. I think he is a guy that is going to do wonders at Auburn in his time here, and you're seeing glimpses of it right now. And I just think that's the hard work, the work ethic, and we all know where Malcolm come from, and we know what he's about. So, and that speed's a little different. So,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like Malcolm Simmons.
he might dance around you a little bit and tag you up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take
Riddick's a
Marcus
good one.
Harris. That's a story for another day. I know he don't play for Auburn though.
Riddick's a good one. Hey, Marcus Harris, bro,
Yeah,
dog. Got to interview him and everything. Dog.
yeah, he's a dog. That's the guy you want. You want a fist fight. Justin Thomas says, "Watch the Mike Tyson highlights. Let's go, bro." Mike showed up with that killer instinct. Mike had the luxury, Justin, of not even getting to the fourth quarter. Mike said, "I'm gonna go ahead and end this thing at the damn kickoff."
Backed
Jonathan
out.
says, "Yeah, this is
He,
not the same Ole Miss." What you got?
no, I was just gonna say, but backed out of the Jake Paul fight. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Is
I'm
that what
kidding.
happened? I don't pay any attention
Nah,
to any of
nah,
that.
nah. I'm kidding.
It's not the same old miss you firing grits. That's what I mean. Blake was the first one to really start saying that. I heard anybody really talking about it. Been calling it for a while, and yeah, you're kind of hearing that narrative come up more and more, and I agree.
Yeah. I know what happened at Ole Miss. We all do. I've been on that. Been on that where it just seems like it took a little fire out of him. Like he kind of mellowed out a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, and going up to Liberty, he had to change the image a little bit.
yeah,
And I always joke around as I'll get on Facebook and say, hey man, I want the old Hugh back.
yeah.
I want that 2 phones Hugh back.
Whatever it say. Yeah.
Because I just want to win, baby. I'll do
Yeah.
anything at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. P-Pass says Cal has the same problem we do. I know, and they beat us in a 1-score game in our house. So that means that we got the problem worse. We got the problem even worse. They haven't won a close game since. They've got 4 losses by combined 9 points, and they somehow beat us in our house, man. Blake Patterson says, seems like Q is defeated. I think a lot of people around there are defeated, man, but they're going to have to find a way to pick it up. And let's go. Because I'm going to tell y'all now, I'm not in favor of firing Hugh Freeze. I will stand on this. I've thought about it more this week, and I'm going to stand on this. 2-10 at Auburn? I'm sorry.
Yep.
If you finish 2-10, then I'm going to say you need to get fired. Recruiting class be damned. I can't. I can't with that. So he's going to have to find a way. I know 4-8 ain't great, but 2-10, but nope. I'm not getting down there and lowering. No, I'm not doing that.
But
If it was injury riddled, but we're healthy, man. Outside of kicker, we're healthy. Like I know, well, corner we got banged up early at corner, but this isn't some injury riddled team that should be 2-10. So I can't.
and I'm with you there because even like we talk about like Drink at Missouri. Well, like Drink wasn't going 2-10 in
Right.
his rebuild. Like, he was ripping off 6 wins and he got dealt. Hey, let me tell y'all something. Drink got dealt a shitter just like Hugh did. All right.
Mm-hmm.
They were in an unfortunate situation when Drink took over that program. Because if you remember, that program, that was a winning program. We played them in the SEC championship. Like they moved from the Big 12 over and they had immediate success. And then bang, they were dealt an unfortunate hand. And Drink comes in there and takes over. And he wasn't going 2-10. And their roster was terrible. They had nothing. And it's got to be way harder to recruit to Missouri than it is Auburn. I don't care if you got Alabama in the same state or not. Missouri's just not the program that Auburn is. So he didn't go 2-10. He wasn't having these, seasons where everybody's sitting here and they're saying, "Oh, he looks defeated." No, they were losing close games, but it didn't look as bad as it does here.
Yeah.
I mean, is it 2-10 is unacceptable, man. It's just a route that if Auburn don't beat ULM, and I'd say Kentucky or Vandy, something's got to happen.
For me, it's almost about just the standard. Like you can't
Yeah,
allow this to be acceptable type thing. Like this cannot happen at Auburn. It just can't be acceptable in my opinion.
because you're getting laughed at, right? Like
Oh yeah,
when
yeah.
these so-called like gurus and all this stuff, like the talking heads and everything, like, they're literally putting Auburn 16th in the conference when they release their power rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, we're down there. We're below Mississippi State right now. And let's not even go down that road where I'm on TikTok the other night and this guy jumps in the live and he says, "Hey, at least you're not a Mississippi State fan." And I said, "Well, I agree, but you guys were also dealt an unfortunate hand by the passing of the Pirate,
Right.
and you guys are still finding ways to make something happen. You get Jeff Levy. You're being competitive when people thought you would get blown out every game, especially after who was it? Toledo come down here and rocked
That's a
them.
talent gap, Blake. Mississippi State has a talent gap. That's a
Exactly.
talent gap.
Exactly. That is the excuse. And that's what I was trying to say to him is like, you guys are even being competitive with Georgia. Like you're going to Georgia and being competitive. You got a true freshman at quarterback. Van Buren comes in that once again dealt an unfortunate blow with Shapen getting knocked out for the year. And it's still not as bad as what is being put on the field at Auburn right now. It's not. It's not. So when he's like, "Oh, well, at least you're not a Mississippi State fan," I was like, I got to push back on that a little bit. It's just bad, man.
Yeah, let's zoom through these comments real quick. I got one more point I want to get to before we get out of here. Bazoo says that Vandy game scares me now, brother. I've been,
Every
I've been, I've been scared, and I'm petrified of the ULM Warhawks. Y'all better listen to me now. You better
every
hear me on
game,
that.
every game should scare you.
Yeah, Auburn Dad for life. What's up, buddy? Glad Junior. He says when we beat them in 07, I ran out in my yard, had my Auburn flag, the front porch, and ran around waving that flag. Yeah, man. Good times, good
Yep.
times. That was a really good night. I remember exactly where I was, what I did, and all that as well. Yeah, man, and that's why it hurts, and that's why it hurts where we're at because we have those memories. We know what Auburn's capable of, and when you have those kind of memories, it builds up the love for the team. Karen, I remember that Dustin, our kicker, is going doing the Gator chomps to the Florida fans. It was great. Again, true freshman. He was from
Yep.
Florida, from Central Florida, from that area of Gainesville. Goes in there, all the pressure in the world on him. And yeah, he just handles his business and makes his kick because anybody in here that's ever played football, when y'all are doing Oklahoma drills, tell me what the kicker's doing. When you're running 7-on-7, when you're in your endo, tell me what the kicker's doing. They down there kicking field goals. You know who doesn't get hit ever in the summer, fall camp? I guess they don't hit in the summer anymore. They did when I played. But the kickers. The kickers. Make your kicks. Make your kicks. It's a tough sell when everybody else is getting hit, sweating, puking at practice. And you're down there all day kicking and listening to music. I know what kickers do.
Yep.
And you're shanking them? Nah, big dog. I ain't. Jonathan says might be waiting a while. I could be, man. I mean, I'm hoping. I'm still a fan, but I also, when I give my predictions and all that, that's why I'm realistic. P-Pass says, guys need to bounce. Love y'all. We appreciate you, buddy, if you come back and watch it on replay. Well, Madison, you said it. You said it, Madison. I didn't say it. But, yeah, 73, whatever. Teresa says, which seniors came to Auburn as a freshman? Jarquez, Deal, who else? I would really have to think, but it's a good point that you make. I mean, a lot of them are portal, and if I thought about what guys cared about Auburn the most, Jarquez and Deal would be on that list. So this is a great point. You got to have guys that come to Auburn that they want to be at Auburn kind of thing from high school and build up that culture that Hugh is trying to do, which is why because I'm gonna tell y'all, if this was going on and if Hugh wasn't building it through recruiting the way he is, I'd be loud. I'd be loud about a lot of stuff. Auburn Dad says still most of the mercenaries from the portal don't care about product because they're getting paid. Yeah, I mean, for Auburn, for me, it kind of seems like it's with the portal, and we still don't have I don't think we have a big enough sample size yet for this statement I'm about to make to be definite. But it seems to me like I look at a team like Florida State. It seems to me like if they get some early wins, then they can go on and have a 12 in a regular season like they did last year. But if you lose a lot of games early and you're a portal-based team, it seems like those teams kind of fall apart. For portal-based teams, and we're not really a portal-based team, but we still are not our young guys that who's trying to build up aren't quite ready yet. It just seems like with those kind of teams, those upperclassmen, they do just they didn't originally commit to that school. They're at the end of their career. They probably don't have an NFL future in front of them, and people that are quitting in the middle of the season don't have an NFL future in front of them. Galatians says, I want Hugh to be successful at AU, but there's zero proof of concept. Every week, I got to admit, I hold out hope for a positive change, but I'm losing faith in Hugh. I mean, I hear you. This is a very reasonable take, and I'm with you, bud. Jeff says, Blake tripped me out the other day when he was talking about the creed. That poop needs to go. It's stupid. Yeah, look, I mean, listen, we make jokes about it. I'm not going to say I don't actually think it's stupid. What I think is stupid about it is trying to bring it up after a loss. Like, there's good stuff in the creed. Now, I don't know it because I'm going to be honest with y'all. The Ten Commandments and 1st and 2nd Peter are kind of a lot more relevant to me personally than a creed of a university. I don't care. I listen to God.
I don't give a shit about that creed.
But, there's that. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, that has nothing to do with football games. And when you lose a football game, what does that have to do with anything? Like, that has nothing to do with anything. So, yeah, Jeff, it's just it's irrelevant. Like, on a sports talk situation, it's like, all right, like, what is that? Cool beans, I guess. That has nothing to do with the game. Okay, cool.
War Eagle anyway, and I'm just like, hey, keep it stepping. And guys, I see you on the comments, like real quick, Dustin, and nobody's wanting Hugh Freeze fired. What we're saying is 2-10 is unacceptable. It's not being emotional. It's being straight to the point of, hey, guess what? Billy Napier at Florida, because Florida and Auburn, very similar, right? Very similar. Programs expect to win. They said, hey, guess what, Billy? You go 2-10, brother, your ass is out of here. And guess what Billy's doing right now? He's got a better record than we do and has played a harder schedule than we have. So it's not being emotional. It's sitting here telling you that 2-10 is flat out unacceptable at Auburn.
Yep.
It's unacceptable. You're getting laughed at. And we've sat here for the past couple of years and we talked about how these teams, they're talking shit to us. Excuse my language, but I'm to the point where I'm ticked off because you have fan bases like Arkansas and Mississippi State and Ole Miss that pipe up and they call us trash.
Yeah.
And we're not. That's not
Cal.
Auburn. Cal. Me
We
and
gave
Daniel,
them game day, Blake. We gave them game day.
we're having to go over here and defend ourselves on Cal Twitter. All right.
Yeah.
Cal. The last time they were good, they had Jared Goff and they wasn't even that good. And they had A-Rod and they were ranked and in the top 10 at one point with Skittles and all that and
Yeah.
Deshaun Jackson. Yeah, that was about the last time they were relevant. Period. Like they're crap. All right.
Yeah.
Ole Miss should not be piping up to Auburn. And I'm sick of it. It's just we're to the point where you have to look at Hugh and say, hey, if you don't start winning games, something's got to give. We're not saying that we want him fired because I believe in Hugh. I trust him. I want him to win at Auburn. But the last thing I want is for Auburn to go 2-10. And once again, you're the laughing stock. And we've been the laughing stock since 2020 when our damn head coach stood up there and said, yeah, I think 6-4 is a hell of a season.
Jesus, dude. Ugh. Solid, real solid.
And I'm sick of this sets Auburn back 5 or 6 years. Look, start winning games. All right. And you say that we're not, y'all say that we're better than 2-5, but we're not. We're not better than 2-5. Yes, we are. We are. We should have beat Oklahoma. You should have beat Arkansas. You should have beat Cal. We're better than 2-5. Our talent is better than 2-5. I'm tired of hearing about there's a talent gap. There's not a talent gap, right? There's not. With Georgia, 31 to whatever, 13, there's a talent gap there. I'm okay with that. In the Iron Bowl, there's a talent gap there. I'm okay with that. Any other game on our schedule, show me a talent gap. Show it to me. Because there's not one. There's not. There's some players here and there that team might have that's a little better than we got. But miss me with all that talent gap crap. Yeah. Not true. Not true. Yeah. There's excuse me. There's no way Auburn should be 2-5 right now. I'm sorry. I'm saying A&M. That there you go, Daniel. You could probably say A&M. That's a good one. But other than that, man, like, I'm sorry. The talent gap excuse is it's no good for me.
Yeah. Blake's fired up. Look, guys, we care. We love this team, man. We love this team. We love Auburn.
We're not saying that Hugh needs to be fired. That's not what we're saying. We're saying if you continue to lose the way you're losing and you go 2-10, then there should be something that happens. All right.
Yep.
Then you got to look in the mirror and say, hey, it's unacceptable. That's not Auburn football.
Yeah, if you think that's a wild take, us saying that, ask yourself, go back and ask yourself in the first or second week of August, if somebody would have told you Auburn's going to go 2-10 this year, how you would have felt about it. Cool Breeze with the super chat. He says, if the recruiting ranking remain the same, would you take Durkin as the head man? He makes adjustment, and he seems like he gets the most from the D. Whew. I mean, man, I don't even want to like kind of go down that road, but like, yeah, I kind of hinted at that the other night. So if y'all probably picked up on that, yeah, if it goes this route, then if it goes that route where you're making a change, and Durkin's still at Auburn at that time, and his defenses are doing well, I think that would be a good way to keep a class together or keep a lot of it together, the defensive guys. And yeah, if Auburn does have to move on from Hugh Freeze, I do want Auburn's next coach to be a defensive guy at that point. You've tried multiple offensive guys now in a row, and your defense still seems to be carrying. So maybe let's hire a defensive head coach so the defense can go to poo, and then the offense can get good. Because Jabba don't die, baby. I'm learning. The Jabba is just he's alive and well.
Hey, I gotta pull this one up from Doug real quick because let me tell y'all something. You take them everything school shirts and you crumble them up and you throw them in the trash and you light them on fire. Because right now, in my honest opinion, we're a nothing school. All right. Baseball, whatever that was last year, pathetic.
Golf.
Oh yeah. I take that back, Dustin. I take
Yeah,
that
man,
back.
come on now,
We're a golf
Natty.
school, brother. We are a golf school. But in the big three, and you're gonna say, oh well, what about basketball, Blake? Show me that you don't lose to Yale in the first round. All right, then I'll come around to basketball. All right, because that SEC tournament championship, I don't give a piss about it because the banner's already got dust on it. And when you walk in there at the very bottom of it, it's going to say first round loss to Yale in the NCAA tournament. So we're a nothing school.
Listen, guys, I gotta get out of here. The Diddler says, "What a ridiculous name." Getting the most from the D is an insane statement. Yeah. I mean, with a name like the Diddler, I'm sure that you would take. I'm sure you would take. I'm sure you would be looking for the D. All right. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. We will be back Thursday previewing Auburn's game at Kentucky. Maybe we can find a win. I'm not picking it. I'm saying the first team to get to double digits wins that game. But listen, man, good crowd tonight. Love you guys, man. Appreciate you guys. For the members, tomorrow, like I said, I will be recording. Put all the do stuff together today. Going through, finding. I mean, I record every snap, so I got to go through, delete, find, label, all that, and then put it together. So I've been doing that for you guys this week. Go over there, man. You see it right there on my Twitter thing. Follow me at the @thewarreport_SEC as well. Getting this Just a Sec pod pumped out. Gonna be pumping out some more SEC content. Gonna do that tomorrow as well. I got a big day tomorrow when I get home, man. Pumping out the content. So I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Smash the thumbs up. Tell your friends, sub to the channel. I don't even know. We're like, 40, 50, something like that away from 2,000. We're on the door, man. Let's go, guys. Get us over that hump. Some of you guys are watching right now that aren't subbed, but I thank you all, man. It's War Damn Eagle, and we'll be back Thursday.
War Damn.